A big portion of the Boston Bruins offseason plan has likely just changed with the Vancouver Canucks signing Daniel Sprong. Daniel Sprong, who was considered to be the Boston Bruins' top target and left in this free agency, now being off the market means the Bruins are going to have to take a big turn about who they're going to sign. So we have a lot of news from this free agency all the way to the trade deadline involving John Sweeney's whole system of operations until next season. So we're going to be talking about all of that here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know that 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join me here on this channel as we cover everything that the Boston Bruins have to offer, and especially with a lot of big signings still coming up, including the one of Jeremy Swayman, and you're not going to want to miss the coverage of that. But let's get into our first topic here. Before we do, though, very quickly, once again, the trivia answer was Mike Milbury, for those in the last video who got that near at the end. Congratulations to you guys. So we're gonna be doing that again at the end of this video as well. So if you haven't seen it or done it yet, wait till the end of the video. A trivia question. I'll like the comment that you post if it is the correct answer to the trivia we have at the end of the video. Just something fun to do at the end, during this free agent season. But let's get into our topic here, the first one of this video, which is the Bruins' plans have likely changed. And Daniel Sprong was the top option for the Boston Bruins here in this offseason. We knew that was likely going to be the player they would sign if any signing was made before the one of Jeremy Swayman. That didn't happen, thankfully. We know Jeremy Swayman, first of all, is the number one option that we need right now. I don't want the Bruins to make any moves until that is done. That's the big thing we need so far, and thankfully, nothing has been made yet. We need all the money we can. But Daniel Sprong, a very, very big one that we had discussed, that we've spoken about here, the likelihood, what he would be like playing on the line on the Boston Bruins, how his career would work out there. And it all worked out very good. We all seem to like the idea of that. But now, with Daniel Sprong being in Vancouver, as you can see here from Elliot Friedman, not the most ideal situation for the Bruins if they were to sign him. We still didn't have any information on if anything was actually coming, but it sure seemed like tires were kicking for the Boston Bruins. Now, I'm going to pull this up here, kind of discussing and breaking down what we know and what I have to figure out at this point now with the Boston Bruins and the free agency. Because now if the Bruins hope to add some depth on the wing before the start of the season, they need to explore other options. Some potential bargaining forwards who have yet to be signed include Tyler Johnson, Mike Hoffman, Alex Nylander, and Max Pacioretty. One there that I'm going to talk about a bit more on, and Tyler Johnson, who I also want to touch on a bit here. Now, I've seen a lot of people in the comments say Tyler Johnson, and I completely agree with this. Tyler Johnson is a very, very good option for this team. Even last year on the Chicago Blackhawks, he really proved that he could be a very, very solid, still a top player on any team that he goes to. Putting up 31 points in 67 games on the Blackhawks last year at the age of 33, going on 34 here in a couple of days. He's still putting up some very good numbers and really proved once again that he can still be, as I mentioned, a top player, a top forward on any potential cup team or playoff team. And if he were to be signed to any type of contract, I think that I would be completely willing to do it. We know Tyler Johnson had a long time with the Tampa Bay Lightning, a lot of success there. That really, to me, proves a lot. From there, then going to Chicago, keeping that momentum there, even on a much worse team. I like what we see in Tyler Johnson here, so if that is an option, I'm very pleased with that. But there's another player that I wanted to touch on here that I think is a really big impact on this team and who could be a very, very big underrated signing if one were to occur. That is Alex Nylander. I'll pull this up on the bigger screenshot so you can see here. But Alex Nylander, on the previous contract, the 1-year deal, the minimum for an NHL player last season with the Pittsburgh Penguins, didn't work out, got traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and that's where he really, really played well. And I have to say, 23 games, 15 points for Alex Nylander. That really, to me, shows a lot of potential. Once again, it would have to be a system where it would be a test. There's a lot of probably internal things that could happen, but Alex Nylander, where he really hasn't had any success in his career, could potentially be one of those signings that if he can finally find the spot where he can play well, where he finds success, this could be a very, very good signing for the Boston Bruins. Have as that middle six, bottom nine, I guess you could say, winger, center option, wherever they really want to put him. I think that he's willing to be open for anything at this point to just try and get an NHL spot. If I see anything last year from those Columbus games, to me, that means that he can easily have success in the NHL if things work out. And, I know I guess it's a lot easier said than done, but what I've seen, as I mentioned, I really, really liked what I saw. So maybe an option there, another intriguing one, I guess. It's all depending on if the Boston Bruins do want to go out and get another winger, if they feel confident with their internals, and Lysell, Merkulov, whoever they choose to have on that winger, that second line, third line, fourth line winger, wherever they choose to put them, we could have some great success here. And a lot of options still, although there's not too many top names. But let me know what you think about those two options in Tyler Johnson and Alex Nylander, if we feel comfortable about him. Let's move on to our second topic here of this video, which is a pretty insane trade deadline report. And this one goes on from Bleacher Report, goes on to mention, as I said in the intro, what could Don Sweeney do at the trade deadline? And these are very early predictions, but once again, it still could be something that could be explored by the Bruins. And Bleacher Report, definitely take it with a grain of salt. They're not known for their hockey things, so just bear with me here for a few minutes. But let's pull this up from Bleacher Report and kind of break this down. Now, I'm not going to read all of this. You're just kind of pull up what we see here. The Senators could consider shopping Giroux if, once again, they find themselves out of the playoff picture, approaching the trade deadline, if he's willing to accept a trade to a contender, which likely, I would say 95%, I don't want to jinx anything, the Boston Bruins will be a cup, if not playoff contender for sure. He could be an option for the Boston Bruins line. And this is, once again, talking about Claude Giroux, the veteran who spent nearly his entire career with Philadelphia, went to Ottawa a few seasons ago, and making $6.5 million, Claude Giroux would have to be retained some salary if he were to go to the Boston Bruins. Still going to be making a lot, however. 3.75, I believe, would be 50%. So it's not a cheap price. As of right now, if all stays healthy, with Jeremy Swayman signed to, the max the Bruins could pay, some moves would have to be made for Giroux to be on this team. But if it does work out, if need be, we need a center, we need that experience to add to this, frankly, very young Boston Bruins playoff team, this could be a great option. I know Claude Giroux still isn't the player what he was, but he was never that goal-scoring elite talent that would go up there and be that offensive guy. He was a defensive forward, but could also, work the offense. Played very, very well with the Philadelphia Flyers, and even with the Ottawa Senators. I see a lot of him translating that game into still at the older age what he is. 64 points last year in 82 games. Very, very good for Claude Giroux still. Nearly 37 years old. This guy is still putting up some incredible numbers. These are last season stats. 20 minutes time on ice. I also will, just in a moment here, pull up the full, career stats from Claude Giroux, kind of showing the trend that in no way is he slowing down. 79 points the season before in his first year with Ottawa in 82 games. That year with Florida wasn't the best, but once again, 23 points in 18 games. You couldn't really ask for much more than that, but I would like to see what a full season. So once again, you have to take that with a grain of salt there at that point, but really showing that he still has it. And could he be the option for this playoff team, the Boston Bruins playoff team? Perhaps. We never really know. The trade deadline is a long ways away, and Don Sweeney may have something up his sleeve if he's still even in the position that he is right now. We'll have to see him wait for this, but let's head on to the trivia real quick. But let me know what you think about those two in the comments before we get into this. But let's head on to this. The Bruins trivia of today, and this is going to be a bit of a more difficult one compared to I shouldn't say too difficult, but a bit more difficult compared to the last two that we had. And this one right here, what hockey player, or I guess we could say which Boston Bruins player was known as the Chief? And as always, let me know or put it in the comments below. I'll give it a like, mention it in the next video as well. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of all of these topics, Claude Giroux, and what kind of free agent would you want to see the Boston Bruins have? But that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.